In the nation's capital, protesters carried signs reading "Deport Musk, dethrone Trump." But they are not the only ones raising their voices in Washington. New Jersey Congresswoman Bonnie Watson Coleman took to X, the company owned by Musk, to voice her concern, calling Trump and Musk's decisions reckless and chaotic. She joins me to discuss the administration's federal firings and the GOP's proposed budget cuts. Thank you for joining us, Congresswoman.
Thank you for having me, Raven.
Well, Congresswoman, you recently posted on X, Trump and Musk's reckless and chaotic incompetence is putting Americans in danger. How so?
Well, first of all, Elon Musk has absolutely no accountability. And he is foraging through our various departments to get to those entities and agencies that keep our people safe, whether it's in the healthcare or any other venue. Secondly, it is very clear that someone with Elon Musk's involvement in the importance of regulations over the things that he does, that he is trying to create an environment where there's no accountability, no regulation, and that he's just going to line his pockets with even more money, considering that he's got more money than 100 people could spend in a lifetime. This level of greed is just absurd. And thirdly, the president of the United States, let's be honest, he is a convicted felon who should not be in that position, in that seat, but he is. He has a whole history of lying and cheating in his businesses as well. So two of them together has nothing to do with making America great again. It has to do with making America high cost for those working families and poor families, and cobbling together at the expense of those families the money that they need to put into even more generous tax breaks for billionaires and billionaire corporations.
Congresswoman, you mentioned, Musk has a lot to do with this plan. When we think about these firings that have occurred in a number of federal organizations, from the FAA to the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, what is the impact of all these federal firings here in New Jersey? I want to bring it back to Jersey.
So in New Jersey, there's about 80,000 or so, maybe a little bit more federal employees. We don't know to what extent they're going to be impacted, but we know that they are. If they're impacted, their families are impacted. In my district alone, they're probably close to 10,000 because I live very close to Trenton, and there are a lot of federal offices in Trenton. So at the end of the day, the economic well-being of everyday hardworking families who do their jobs because they're professional, who take an oath to the office that they're working in to keep us safe, either in the courts or at FAA. We look at what's happening right now with all of these accidents. They are stripping away indiscriminately at organizations that are designed to keep people healthy and whole.
How are Democrats responding? Can you see any common ground with any of the administration's proposals?
Well, not yet. I mean, there have been 100 and some executive orders that have all been designed to dismantle, hurt, and eliminate. So none of those worked for us. But Democrats are willing to work with Republican colleagues if we're working to ensure that they have access to health care, if they have access to their prescription drugs, if they have access to housing and other necessities, if their education is going to be guaranteed, things of that nature. So it's not that we're not willing to work with them. They have nothing of value to work with. So we have to work with our allies when we're not allowed to bring suits directly against these entities and Donald Trump and Elon Musk. We have to work with our allies because we've got to employ this strategy of litigate, legislate, and then we've got to talk to people because we've got to mobilize.
Speaking of legislate, you sit on the House Budget Committee. How would the GOP's budget plans affect New Jersey?
Well, they affect New Jersey with hundreds of billions of dollars. The plan that we were looking at, and you understand, Budget Committee doesn't give the instructions to the committees of jurisdiction how to achieve the numbers that they're giving them. But let's just say energy and commerce. There is an $880 billion cut proposed to energy and commerce. That's where your Medicaid is at. That's where your Medicare is at. They've already signaled through other means that Medicaid is something that they're targeting. They've already eliminated the cap that Biden put on the $2,000 cap on healthcare for seniors. They've already eliminating the cap, or trying to anyway. So let me be clear about this. They're trying to eliminate the cap on insulin and things of that nature. But every step of the way, what they've tried to do, the courts have intervened. Now we need to see how far the courts will go to make sure that the illegal taking of and the hostile takeover of federal government is stopped.
Congresswoman, thank you again for your time.
Thank you for having me. Have a good day.